Oh, hey, it must be 2 o'clock. It's time for us to go live. It's Randy Martin from Trilogy Event Design. I hope you have a cocktail or something nice and cold to drink on this hot, sunny summer day. Iced tea, lemonade, sitting out in the back by the pool or wherever you may be. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Trilogy Event Design. I am your host, Randy Martin, and we're going to do a live Q&A session today about planning your wedding, making sure that it is the wedding of your dreams. How else can you do that if you don't know what you don't know? So I'm here to answer your questions. When you log on, just say, hey, Randy, I'm here, so that I know that you're here and I can give you a shout out. I love saying who's in the audience and making sure that they get their props for joining me. So thank you for being here on a Sunday in the summer. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things just based on the questions that I'm getting, but I will start out with some general topics that are on my mind and things that I think that you need to know as always. So we started this series probably a month or two ago, probably 2 months now, that we've been doing this live Q&A session series because I speak live on stage at bridal shows all throughout the year leading up to the summer wedding season, and I decided that on Sundays I would continue with that trend, and that, you know, just keep myself motivated but also still providing my audience with the questions and answers that they need to have, you know, to move forward. So just a little bit about me. Again, I'm Randy Martin. I am the Chief Event Planner at Trilogy Event Design. We're located in Hatboro, Pennsylvania, which is suburban Philadelphia, but I plan weddings mainly in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, but I do travel. So we do destination weddings that are to places like Puerto Rico, Miami, even the Jersey Shore is considered a destination, or the Poconos. So, you know, if you are having a wedding outside of my general area, it's not a problem. I can still help you. There may be some specific things that I don't know about your area, but, you know, most questions can be answered in general, because a lot of things apply to a lot of different locations. So welcome again. If you are joining me live, please just say, hey, Randy, in the comments so that I can see that you're here, and I'll give you a shout out. Also, in the comments down there, you can ask your questions, and as I see them appear, I will, you know, answer them, you know, in the order that I see them. But let's get started. I'm going to talk a little bit about some things that I know are of general interest, like saving money on your wedding, or dealing with stress and drama. I'm pretty sure a lot of people deal with stress and drama. That's why I have a cocktail today. Yeah, so stress and drama is an issue, especially when you're planning your wedding, because a lot of people don't realize that it's your wedding and it's about you, boo. It's not about them. So, you know, some people think that this is their moment to shine when it really is not. It's about you, the bride or the groom. It's not about your mother. It's not about your sister. It's not about the drama that's going on between your parents if they're divorced. Your best friend, who is your maid of honor, does not need to be taking up a whole lot of time getting her hair and makeup done when it's taking away from the time that they're supposed to be helping you get ready for your wedding. All that kind of stress and drama actually does happen. You'd be surprised to see how people change when it comes to weddings, whether it's yours or theirs, or, you know, they're a guest or they're a wedding party member. It doesn't matter. Sometimes, you know, people just start to act a little bit strange when it comes to your wedding. So let's talk about that just a little bit. I want to talk about bridesmaids, because a lot of the times bridesmaids don't know what they're supposed to do for you. Maybe because they've never been in a wedding before. So it is really up to you to tell them what it is that you need from them. Sometimes they're just waiting for instructions. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing. They don't know what you need them to do, and you may be making assumptions that they're supposed to know because they're a bridesmaid. So communication is key. in every part of planning your wedding, but especially when you're dealing with your wedding party. Be sure that you tell them what it is that you want from them. Do you want them to plan a bridal shower that is going to be at your favorite location, your favorite restaurant, or something like that? Tell them that. If you want your bachelorette party to be something other than a night at the strip club, tell them that. If you want to take a girls trip to, let's say you want to go to Vegas for your bachelorette party, tell them that, because they'll be planning the party that they think that you want to have, or the party that they want to have, versus what you actually want. So be sure that you are communicating clearly with your wedding party. And the same goes for grooms. Guys, if you don't want to have the typical bachelor party, but you want to have a day at the golf course, or you want to have a guy's trip. I said the girls can go to Vegas, the guys can go to Vegas too, or Miami, or wherever. Just make sure that you're communicating what type of party you want to have, as opposed to them guessing or planning the party that they want to have. I know in past events or couples that I've been dealing with, the guys have absolutely made it clear that they don't want to be a part of the entertainment. So maybe you are going to have an all-out stripper party, but you don't want to be the focus of attention. You want your friends, the guys, to enjoy the view. You want them to enjoy the entertainment. Just be clear and make sure that you tell them that you don't want to be a part of the entertainment. You don't need the booty shaking in your face and all that. That's for them to enjoy. And you can watch too, but you just don't want it to be all about you. That's perfectly fine. Once again, just make sure that you communicate that. So while we're talking about communication and we're talking about the roles of the wedding party, make sure that you are also communicating that being a member of your wedding party is an expense. If you have friends that are struggling financially, maybe they should not be a bridesmaid or a groomsman. Maybe they should just have some other part in your wedding. For example, you can have them be a hostess or an usher. That means that they are not responsible for doing anything prior to your wedding day. They are greeting guests. They are making sure that your guests know where to sit. They know where the guest book is, that kind of thing. Or you can have them read a scripture during your ceremony, or sing a solo if they're talented. If they're talented, let them sing a solo. But give them another role that does not require them to be financially obligated to doing things for your wedding. Your bridesmaids will have to pay for their dresses, their shoes. If you're not providing it for them, they have to pay for their hair and makeup. They also are going to be responsible for, if they live out of town, maybe they have to pay for their hotel accommodations and transportation just to get to your wedding. If they live out of town, they may have to pay for hotel accommodations and transportation for every special event that's related to your wedding, like your bridal shower, your bachelorette party, your rehearsal dinner, things like that, where they need to be in town for an extended amount of time, just so that they can be a part of all of the things that come along with being a bridesmaid or a groomsman. So make sure that you let them know at the time that you're inviting them to be a member of your wedding party what the financial obligations are that go along with them accepting that invitation. It's better to get that clear up front than for months to go by and it's getting close to time for them to start spending money, and then they tell you that they can't afford it, or they tell you that they can't be in your wedding anymore, or even worse, they don't tell you anything at all. They just stop communicating with you because they don't want to feel like they're letting you down, but they know that they can't do the things that you're asking them to do. So sometimes it is a hardship for your friends or family members to be in your wedding, and you have to understand that and be sure that you're letting them know up front what your expectations are. If you're spending a lot of money on your wedding, there is probably a good percentage of the amount that you're spending on your wedding that your bridesmaids or your groomsmen are going to have to put out in order to go along with the ideal of what you have for your wedding. So for example, if you're spending $50,000 on your wedding and it's going to be this grand, lavish event, your bridesmaids are probably going to have to pay for a really, really nice dress and very nice shoes and, some things that are probably more expensive than they have in their budget, unless they are already that type of person who is, willing to spend a whole lot of money for an outfit for one day. You may be asking a lot. So just be sure that you're communicating all these things to your bridesmaids and those people who are going to be in your wedding. The same goes for if one of your bridesmaids has a child who is going to be in your wedding. That's kind of added expense. Not kind of, it is an added expense. So let's say that your sister is your maid of honor and your niece is going to be the flower girl. So now your sister has to pay for her dress as well as for her daughter's dress, for them to be a participant in your wedding. So just kind of think of those things. And of course, there's always ways that you can help to subsidize the expense for some people or for everybody. Like maybe you do pay for their hair and makeup because you're already contracting the hair and makeup vendors to do yours. They may have package deals where you can have the additional members of the wedding party get their hair and makeup done for less. So you're not paying, your price times 5 or times however many women there are in your wedding. The same goes for the mothers. Maybe you want to include your mother and your fiance's mother in the hair and makeup package so that you get a good deal, pretty much a good bang for your buck, so to say. The guys are really easy. Unfortunately, they're not as hard pressed to spend money as the girls are. So guys, get a haircut, rent your tuxedo, plan the bachelor party. 3 things. Girls, it's like 10 things. So, you just really need to make sure that, again, the communication is clear, your expectations are realistic based on the people that you're asking, and if you're good enough friends or close enough that you're asking them to be in your wedding, there should not be a problem with understanding if they cannot participate, and they should not feel like they can't tell you. All right, so that's one thing that I just wanted to put out there because I've been asked that question a few times. So again, if you're just joining us, please post your questions in the comments below so that I can answer your questions and not just be speaking in general terms. I really, really want these sessions to be beneficial to all of the viewers. You are going to get to see this in a recording later on. I do always post the recorded version on our Facebook page, and they're also going to be posted on Facebook eventually when I have time to do that. But, for right now, Facebook is the place to watch our recorded versions of this. But in order to get your questions answered live, you have to be here and you have to ask them. So go ahead and post them below. So another thing that we just posted or we just started talking about in the Trilogy team. And we're going to be posting some things on our Facebook and our Instagram. We do weekly tips. A few times a week we post tips for planning your wedding. But one thing that we just started to talk about is the signature drink. Again, I raised my glass for my cocktail. This is really good. So anyway, signature drinks can save you money on your bar. So it is a no-no. Do not have a cash bar at your wedding. Your guests are being invited to celebrate with you. They should not have to pay for their meal, nor their drinks, nor the entertainment. They should not have to pay for anything to be invited to your wedding. So you can have a limited open bar versus a top shelf open bar. It's still open. The drinks are still free, but you're limiting what your financial obligation is. So you can have wine, beer, and a signature drink or 2, and that should suffice. And then if there's something else that people want that's not being offered, then they can pay for that if that's what they want to do, but you're not making them do that. So your signature drink can be something that is named after the two of you. It could be something that goes along with the theme of your wedding. It could be in the colors of your wedding. Think outside of the box and really get creative with it. But make sure that you talk to your bartender or your caterer about the drink first so that they have the right ingredients for it, so that they are sure of how to make it, and that they have enough of it available from the very beginning of your wedding. We don't want people to start asking for your signature drink and the bartender is like, let me figure out how to make that. Or, we don't have the right ingredients for it. Uh-oh. Planning, no. You always want to make sure that you have everything that you need ahead of time for something that is a feature at your wedding. So let's just say, for example, I'm having a wedding for myself, and it is, I don't know, it's a springtime afternoon wedding. My signature drink is probably going to be a blushing bride because it's pink and it's pretty and, you know, that's the type of thing that I like. I also love sparkles, so maybe I'll have my drink be something that is made with champagne so that there's bubbles in it and it's sparkly. My groom may like the color blue, so maybe we have his drink be something that is in blue and is made with his favorite liquor. Let's just say it's gin and there's blueberries in it or something like that. So, you know, it's going to be something that the guys would like to drink as well as the girls. Or, you know, maybe we have a his and hers drink, so we have my pink sparkly thing and his blue thing, and, you know, whatever. But think about that. Think about how you can make your bar be representative of the theme of your wedding and tie that all in. Cohesiveness is so important. So let's just say I want my pink sparkly drink and he wants his blue drink, but our colors are green and pink. So one of them goes with it, but the other one doesn't. Or our colors are purple and gold. Neither one of them go with it. So, you know, you really want to make sure that the drink that you're choosing for your signature drink goes along with the theme as well as your personalities. It's something that you're going to want to drink and that your guests are going to want to drink. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. And just a reminder, post your questions down there in the comments below so that I can see them and I can answer your questions, okay? Make sure that you do that for me. Please, 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 please post your questions so that I can answer them. And, you know, also give me a shout out and say, hey, Randy, I'm here, so I can say hi back to you. All right, so another thing that absolutely comes up all the time is children. Whether to invite children to your wedding, how do you deal with the children who are in your wedding? Children are a big deal when it comes to planning your wedding. So first of all, remember that this is your wedding and it should be the type of wedding that you want to have. So if you don't want children at your wedding, don't have children at your wedding. Don't feel like you're being pressured or forced to just because of your family members. Hey, that's Ira Vasa Atham? Did I say that right? Hey, I hope I said your name right. And hey, Miss Amber, how you doing? So, yeah, we're talking about weddings, of course, and I'm answering questions. So please post questions down there so that I can talk about what you want to talk about today. But yeah, let's get back to the children. The kids are not necessarily, you know, the ones that you want to have at your wedding. Maybe you just want to have their parents at your wedding. Maybe you want to give your friends a night off and a good time with, you know, people their own age, as opposed to going to play dates with the kids like they always do on a Saturday. So when you're telling your guests that the children are not invited, you do not, I repeat, do not write no kids allowed or no children allowed on your invitation. It's just not polite. It's, you know, it's not what the vibe that you want to go along with your invitation. Hey Jenna, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, so you don't want to say no kids allowed, but the way that you can do it and get the point across is to write it on your RSVP card. So you know, on the RSVP, generally is printed to say number attending, and there's a blank. You can have that printed, custom printed to say number of adults attending, or, adults attending with the blank. That way, it does not say that there's children, and it says adults only, but in a nice, polite way. Some people won't get it, and if you've ever seen me at a bridal show, you know that I'm big on the people that don't get it. So you do have to tell some people, that they RSVP'd incorrectly, or, but that's all word of mouth. That's not something that needs to actually be written on your invitation. You can put that on your wedding website, though. So if you're doing a wedding website, which is a great tool to have, you can put no children allowed on your wedding website. Nothing wrong with that at all. You can put it there. So maybe you send out your save the dates and you give them the link to your wedding website. And from the very beginning, your guests all know, no doubt about it, there's no children allowed. So that's where you put all of that extra information. Your wedding website is also a place where you would put hotel accommodations for out-of-town guests, directions, or a link to, Google Maps for directions. You would put your registry information there. So I think that actually answers Amber's question. Amber was asking, what's my opinion on gift registries and where to share them? On the wedding website, do not put gift information in your invitation. Because guests should not feel like they're obligated to bring you a gift, although they should bring you a gift. That's not a reason for them to be coming to your wedding. You're not actually inviting people to your wedding just so that they'll bring you gifts. If you are, you should not be doing that. Stop it. Don't do that. So anyway, your gift registry information should go on your wedding website. I really, really do believe that you should tell people the types of things that you want to get from them for your wedding gifts if they're going to bring you something. Otherwise, you're going to get 30 toasters and you don't even like toast. Or you're going to get a coffee maker and you already have like the best one ever. So Keurig is my friend. I love Keurigs. And if somebody were to bring me a Mr. Coffee, I'd probably be like, oh. I'm just saying. So you want to be clear on the types of gifts that you want. If you've already been living together and you have established your home and you have already decorated it the way that you want to, don't ask people to bring you stuff that's going to go towards your house, but ask them to give you something else. You can also register for things to do on your honeymoon as opposed to gifts that you're going to have in your house. So maybe, you're going to a resort that has a whole lot of extras and you want your guests to buy you those extras. So you'll have like a spa day for 2, or you'll have dinner on the ocean, or, something that is just a little bit extra that you would love to do, but by the time you finish paying for your wedding and your honeymoon, you can't afford those extras. Let them pay for them for you. So another question we have, I'm having some issues with 2 of my bridesmaids. They're being a bit difficult. What can I do or say? Okay, so I was mentioning this earlier on in our live. You really need to communicate with them and just tell them, straight up. I'm sure that you already have some type of strong relationship with them. Otherwise, they would not be in your wedding anyway, right? So you can just have a little sit-down conversation with them. Don't make it seem like it's super formal, and don't make it seem like it's very tense, but just have the conversation with them. I'm not really sure what your issues are with them, so my answer is going to be pretty general, but just have a conversation. Invite them out to coffee, or have them come over to your house and just chit-chat with them for a little while and just say, hey, there's some issues that I think we are not on the same page about regarding the wedding, and this is what I'm thinking. Am I thinking right? Am I getting the right vibe from you? Or is there something else and I'm just totally missing it? There is a huge possibility that they're not really being difficult, but there's other things that are going on in their life that's taking precedence, and it's a higher priority to them than your wedding is. But your wedding, of course, is a higher priority to you. So you just need to get on the same page and ask them, real talk, sister to sister, or, best friend to best friend, whoever the bridesmaids may be, and just say, what's going on? I'm feeling like there's something that is not connecting correctly, and I want to make sure that, I'm not taking it the wrong way. Maybe that will help. I hope it does. Definitely let me know. Okay. So let me get back to the children because I started to talk about them, but I kind of stopped so that I could answer some questions. So while I'm waiting for another question to pop up, I'll go back to the children. So we talked about, if you don't want children at your wedding. Let's talk about if you do want children at your wedding and you want it to be a fun family event. You're welcome, sweetheart. So let's just say you want it to be family friendly and it's going to be an outdoor wedding and the kids can run around all they want to. You should still make sure that you have somebody designated to be the caretaker for the children because their parents may be having a good time, eating and drinking and dancing and having a good time with the other adults. There needs to be somebody watching the kids. So you can either designate an adult or an older teenager to be responsible for the kids. Maybe it's a grandmom or maybe it's an older sibling or an older cousin. Somebody needs to be watching those kids because unsupervised kids will definitely cause a problem. So anyway, real quick, because I have about 3 more minutes left of my Facebook Live. So the kids need supervision. They don't need to be running around without anybody really being in charge of them. So just make sure that you have somebody. And if there isn't an adult or an older teenager that you can designate, you can hire an event sitter. There are nannies. Again, the phone. I'm going to wrap this up in a minute so that I can call this person back. But nanny services for events. So they're very inexpensive. They will take care of the kids. That's their job. That's their only job for the wedding. So that's what they'll be focused on. All right, so I'm going to end this now so that my 2:30 appointment will not feel like she's being ignored. But if you want to come and see me, have cocktails with me or maybe coffee or something like that, go to my website. Go to trilogyeventdesign.com and click on the link to schedule a consultation. You can come and talk to me or, we can do a video chat if you're not in the Hatboro area and it's not really convenient for you to come out to see me. But I will talk to you soon. Thank you for joining everybody that was here. I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you next time, next Sunday. Bye.